Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, I'm back. I had to take some personal days. You know, you have to take a break every now and then, or else you feel like you're going crazy. And so with the holidays here, it allowed me to spend some time with family and loved ones and just relax just a little bit before I came back to the hustle and bustle. I know we still got more holidays coming up. A lot of people are looking forward to Thanksgiving tomorrow. They're going to grub down and have an excuse to just pile on the pounds on this day. Some of us have already started cooking, and the house smells really, really good. And I'm not sure if I'm going to make it till tomorrow. Anyways, let's get into all the good stuff, shall we? Before we get started, though, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying precious metals, gold or silver, go to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get an additional half ounce of silver with your order. This is that tweet I was talking about before, that girl Caroline. She was like the 27-year-old CEO of the Alameda Research Group that's tied into the whole FTX thing. And this is the kind of crap she was tweeting. Now, keep in mind, this is from April of 2021. Wasn't that long ago? Nothing like regular amphetamine use to make you appreciate how dumb a lot of normal, non-medicated human experience is. This woman was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, and she made tweets like this, and this didn't draw any kind of red flags from any type of watch group whatsoever. She was protected. It's always nice to have parents in high places and heavily politically connected. So there is a lot of covering up taking place over FTX. We saw that the Democrats didn't want to hold any meetings regarding the FTX, but the Republicans are certainly licking at the chops to do that once they take control of the House. You can see right here, look at a $740 million in crypto assets recovered so far in FTX scandal. But what assets? The assets were fabricated. So I'm curious to see how they're going to cover this up. But the more the truth comes out about this company, the more you realize that there are people connected to our government watchdogs who are supposed to look into companies like FTX to make sure that they're legit. And instead of doing that, they were part of the cover-up. They were part of the criminality. So these people should do definitely time is what you hope, but I doubt it because they donated so much money to the Democrats. And since they did so, they'll probably most likely walk away. Like you always see people who support Democrats do. As you can see, the cryptos are now in the green. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, don't celebrate them being in the green too much because there is something coming down the pipeline I think is going to have a huge impact on the crypto market. I'll explain here in a moment. Anyways, Bitcoin's at $16,564. Ethereum's at $1,182. XRP's at 37 cents. Cardano at 31 cents. Dogecoin is at 8 cents. Polygon is at 8 cents. Polkadot's at $5.42. Solana is at $14.17. Shiba at 509. So for the most part, we've seen that cryptos have not gone one way or another too much. They, again, it's just stagnant, but I do think there's a hit coming. There was a concern that I had, if you've been following me for a while now, about cryptocurrencies, that they would find a way to take them down. It seems to me like this FTX might have been a planned event. But who am I to say? That's just my opinion. It looks way too suspicious. Not to mention all the other crypto exchanges that have been collapsing. I'd expressed my concern that once the central bank digital currency came out, you would all of a sudden hear some devastating news about cryptos that would pretty much wipe them out. Well, we're just about there now. So cryptos have taken a major hit since their highs of, just a little over a year ago? They're nowhere near their former values. So will they recover? I have a hard time believing they will, but I'm keeping an eye out for them, and I've not sold any of the cryptos that I've gotten. So Terra Luna Classics at 3016. At one time, they were making up pretty good ground, especially after the devastating hit that Terra Classic took only a few months ago. They started to gain some value, and then came back just a little bit. So we'll see where Terra Classic goes. It's one of those cryptos that I have that I'm just holding on to, because if cryptos rebound the way that we all hope, then I should do very good profit-wise. The same with Satama. I've not sold my Satama neither. You can see right here it's at 309. It has gained a 0 over the last couple of weeks. But in the past 24 hours, it is heading in the right direction, as you can see here. Let's hope that stays consistent. So silver and gold continue to quietly move in the right direction. Silver closed out at $21.59 per ounce for the day. Again, this is paper value, not the actual value. I think right now we're seeing on the retail side on the internet, 1 ounce silver eagles are somewhere around $40. So the premiums are really high, and they can get away with it because people are willing to pay that price. I keep warning people that you want money out of the system. For the same reason I'm going to warn you about cryptos is the reason why you should be buying gold and silver. So even gold is going up $1,754.70. Could it hit that $1,800 mark before the end of this month? It's going to be very close, but we'll see. I think I'm going to hit my prediction mark for silver at least by the end of the year. But as far as gold is concerned, unless it takes a magical huge leap, I don't think it's going to happen. Paper gold closes today at $1,754.70 per ounce. So here's what I'm talking about. I keep warning people there's no way in hell they're going to let anything compete with the central bank digital currency. For you people who are religious, this is that one world currency that the Bible warns you about, which will also accompany the one world government and you having to take the mark. It's already being talked about as far as how humans are going to be tracked. They really want you to take this chip into your right hand. Now, I don't see the need to have to take a chip, and they're certainly not going to put it on your forehead, because if the Bible says the mark is on your right hand or in your forehead, so unless people are going to walk around with a chip glowing in their forehead, I don't see it happening. But definitely, here we go. Here comes the digital US dollar. The New York Fed has now launched a 12-week pilot program for digital dollar tokens. I told you they're going to force you into this, whether you want to do it or not. For those of you who have gold and silver, I don't care what the market or the news tells you the value of gold and silver is going to be. It is going to be your saving grace and your way to stay out of the system and do trading with people who understand the real value of gold and silver, despite what we're being told. You don't want to be involved with the central bank digital currency, and I think everybody should fight that with all of your might, because once they have the digital currency, they're not even going to ask you for permission. They're just going to take cash. You're going to wake up one day and the cash is going to be gone. And they're going to say, oh, wow, you got a digital currency. You better raise holy heck. Because remember, this is programmable money. Money with the expiration date on there, that if you don't spend it, you lose it, so you can never save. And money that's programmable, which means they can determine what you can and can't buy. And a slick way to circumvent our Constitution, especially our Second Amendment. So here's what I'm talking about. Bitcoin might face its most potent nemesis to date if the digital US dollar pilot project of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is anything to go by. Yes, of course it is. They're not going to want anything out there to compete with this central bank digital currency at all. That's the whole goal, is to force every single person into this. They're not going to allow cryptos to be out there. To wit, the New York Federal Reserve's Innovation Center has now launched a 12-week pilot project along with the major banks to examine the viability of the digital US dollar. The participating banks include BNY Mellon, Citibank, HSBC, MasterCard, PNC Bank, TD Bank, Truist, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. The bank transfers messaging service, the SWIFT, will also be the participant in this project. Whatever happened to the quantum financial system? Now, I know my friend said it's real, it's out there, but there was no way for me to ever prove it. But apparently there's some people out there that magically sit on the board of the quantum financial system. Isn't that what you're told? What happened to the white hats? Did they just disappear? I mean, I thought the white hats had everything under control. It looks to me like these people are going to force you into this digital dollar regardless of what you want. There are 17 countries right now rising up against their own governments, fighting this whole Build Back Better World Economic Forum agenda. And I mean, they're fighting hardcore. On a granular level, the pilot program will allow the NYIC to examine a regulated liability network for digital asset transactions, where accounts held across multiple financial institutions are connected via a distributed ledger. This is a blockchain. The network will allow financial institutions to transfer digital representation of a central bank, commercial bank, and regulated non-bank issuer liabilities denominated in US dollars. In other words, it's just another fake fiat currency. That's all it is. And it's backed by nothing. It says readers should know, however, that the concept of the digital US dollar has received significant pushback even from within the Federal Reserve. For instance, on the 10th of November, a symposium sponsored by the Harvard National Security Journal in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller expressed his skepticism towards the concept, noting that he remained highly skeptic of whether there is a compelling need for the Fed to create a digital currency. There is no need for it. They'll find an excuse about cost, and they'll find an excuse about expanding expenses, because that's what the government wants to do, is grow. Don't all communist governments want to do that? So this is definitely going to affect the cryptocurrencies in a negative way. They will find an excuse. Don't be surprised if they don't use this fiasco with FTX as an excuse to outlaw, ban, or overreach on the government's control of cryptocurrencies in such a way that it has a negative effect. But let's keep your fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But I talked about this a long time ago, that the government would somehow, some way, magically come up with a story or an excuse to turn around and end cryptocurrencies. And that would happen once they launch their own central bank digital currency. Now that midterms are over, the reality of where we are economically is about to come out. Zero Hedge says stocks, bonds bid well, dollar dives after dovish FOMC minutes and cautious activity data. Sounds like a bunch of blah, 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 but let's just get down here to the market wrap. It says stocks closed in the green after a raft of U.S. data and dovish FOMC minutes ahead of the Thanksgiving holidays. Jobless claims were higher than expected. Really? How many of you are surprised at this? You know, they suppressed the numbers. They just flat out lied to you. We had midterms. They were trying to make everything look good. And now the midterms are over. The truth is going to come out. Case in point, flash PMI in the U.S. for November were weaker than consensus across the board. While new home sales saw a surprise beat. Yeah, they increased. After a 10% loss last month, they have a 7% increase this month. Durable goods were mixed, and the UOM was better than expected, with the one-year inflation expectation edging lower. Not without a lot of data manipulation. I know they keep telling us that inflation is around 8%, but that's not the truth. It's more around twice that amount, about 16%. And not to mention the feds are talking about raising the interest rates another 75 basis points in December. That's definitely going to have its toll on the markets, again, right around the holidays. The reason why you're seeing home sales increase is because people are trying to get in while the rates are a little bit lower until they skyrocket. As the feds continue to raise the rates, the cost of buying a home will increase because the interest rates will be much higher. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing the increase in home buys, just because people think it's better now than later to get into the market before it's too late and the cost is too high. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. I look forward to your comments, and I will catch you later. And I'm out.